Hello, folks. I'll read to you the last seven daily inspirational messages, and then you guys can choose one, and we can start there. All right. The last seven titles: The Birth of the Present Moment, Creating a More Compassionate and Loving World, Aligning with Your Life's Purpose, Your Eternal Truth is Within You Now, We Are Not Who We Have Been Programmed to Be, Recalling and Sharing Our True Nature, and Awakening from Hopelessness to Hope.
I vote for We Are Not Who We Have Been Programmed to Be.
All right, that's it's going to be the June 7th. Let me just note it down. June 7th. All right, it's a condensed version. I'll read to you the two paragraphs, and then I'll make some comments, and we'll go from there. All right, we're not who we have been programmed to be. A May 7th condensed version. Paragraph 1. How much more of our life are we willing to sacrifice to the false idol of judgment, frustration, anxiousness, anger, resentment, hate, and revenge? When will we finally realize that we are not who we have been programmed by the ego to be? No matter how normal and natural these behaviors may appear to be, they are in no way aligned with our eternal loving essence and nature. In fact, the individuals who the ego has trained us to condemn for our pain and suffering are actually the ones who will one day help free us from the ego's grip. The more we condemn them, the more we will see and feel that such a reaction is not in alignment with the truth in us. This self-awareness will motivate us to look for a better way. So today, for our brothers and sisters' participation in our awakening process, let us offer them our gratitude. Paragraph 2. Thankfully, after enough time within the ego's mindset, supporting the false as true, we will be able to distinguish its lies from our truth. We are not the fear-based, judgment-centric person who the ego has programmed us to be. We usually only recognize this by participating in the ego's delusions long enough for us to see its lies as lies. It is also thanks to these experiences that we can now tell its lies from our truth. Recognizing this, our past judgments of others turn into gratitude for helping us evolve. Transcending the ego's programming is a sign of one who has awakened to the true nature. Love is who you are. It will be your understanding of love's nature that will help deprogram you, awaken you to the truth within, and thus to your function as the loving light in this world. And the paragraph 2. All right, so the ego has, as the Course in Miracles says, the ego answers first and loudest, right? And it usually answers with some form of judgment, anger, resentment, frustration, fear, worry, doubt, guilt, shame. Those are the ego's treasures. And so anytime we react in that manner, it's not because that's who we are. It's simply because that's who we've been programmed to be. Okay? So if you react in a way that's less than loving in nature, don't condemn yourself for that. Just recognize that whatever that emotion is, it's not in alignment with the loving truth in you. And so if it doesn't support your loving nature, then it's not real or true. It's just something we've learned, something we've been taught. And those people who taught us that, they were doing the best they could with the tools, emotional and spiritual tools they had available to them. And so it's also not helpful to judge them for that. They did the best they could, and now we're doing the best we can. But it's useful to start to acknowledge what thoughts are inside of you that are real and what thoughts inside of you have been programmed. And the issue is that many times we've been programmed to react a certain way, and we reinforce that way over and over and over again. And so that way becomes or seems to be natural and normal. But what's natural and normal to the ego is it's not natural to you. And little by little, you'll feel the difference. The more you align consciously with the love that you are, the more you'll see how unalike you are to judging self or others, to frustration, to anxiousness, to anger, resentment, hate, revenge, fear, doubt, shame, guilt, anxiousness, worry, doubt. And so all those things you are not. And so when those things come to mind, don't punish yourself for that. Just recognize, okay, wait, I'm somewhere in my mind where I do not belong. This gives me a perfect opportunity to practice taking back control of my own mind. And so now you use these ego tools not to condemn yourself or others, but to trigger in you the recollection that this is not who you are and this is not what you want. So if it's not what you are, it's not what you want, it's not what takes you to your desired destination, which is a state of peace, then why continue to support such emotions? And to stop supporting emotions that don't support you. Okay. You want to be what God created you to be, which is the light of the world in your own unique way. But the only way to do that is to recognize that that's who we are, and we're only the truth in us is true. Only the love in us is true. Everything else is just a creation of the ego, a fabrication of the ego. But we don't have to support that. The less we support the ego is real and its tools, the less it affects us in our lives. And the more we align with source, with love. And so that's roughly what it's meant here, that we're not who we've been programmed to be. Any comments or questions? Or has anybody been a little attached to the ego this week?
Yeah.
All right, give us an example.
Who, me?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I gave my example on Sunday.
On Sunday? Okay.
Want to give it again?
Sure. I mean, it's a different class, so.
Oh, so I went to the beauty parlor and the lady was late, which she's always late. She doesn't bother call me to tell me that she's running late. So I'm sitting there waiting like 45 minutes and she's just taking her time with this other lady. And in the meantime, I'm fuming, and I want to say to her, you could have had the courtesy to tell me you were running late. You're late every time I come. And then you're just taking your time. But I sat there, I didn't say anything. I said, Holy Spirit, you gotta help me here because I'm gonna curse this lady out. I'm gonna really go at her. So I just sat there and she was just taking her time. And I'm looking at my watch and I'm huffing and huffing. And then she finally takes me. I don't say anything. I said nothing. And then she started talking to me right while I was getting ready to pay. She was being nice. And I just was nice with her, but I was really ticked off, but I really held my tongue and I didn't let my ego get to me. Then I came home and I get donations, which I give to the neighbors. So one of my neighbors, I always call and she never bothers to call back, and she only comes when she wants the food, which was fine. But I called her to say that I had some more food for her. She declined my call, and so I was even more furious, and I felt really taken off. I felt really abandoned. I felt really rejected. I felt really all stuff started coming back in. And then my son called me and he said, "Oh, Mom, my friend and I just went to the beach, so we're going to stop by and get some ice pops for the kids." And I said, "No, you're not. You know, you only come by here when you want to wash your clothes, when you want to eat something. You never check on me to see how I'm doing." I said, "No, you're not coming." And I really went in, I really started going down that rabbit hole. I started feeling really lonely and just unloved, and all that stuff started coming in. So I spent some time in the workbook. I listened to some videos, and I just, I just told God that, to help me to forgive these people, to help me not to even go there. And I realized that my loneliness is my separation from God. I realized that it's really God's love that I really want, that I really need. And it wasn't about all those other people. All that loneliness and all that is because I crave for God's love, from being separated from him. I maybe I was wrong in what I thought, but that's how it came to me, And I've been dealing with it, and I've been working through it, and I feel okay today. I had a good day today.
Good. Thank you. Okay. And your hairstylist.
Oh God. And she does it every time I go. Every single time I go.
Okay.
To me. It's like she only does it to me.
Okay. One of the things you want to consider practicing in those situations is the understanding that there's only two ways to view time.
Yeah.
Okay. The ego's view of time, where things have to happen exactly when you want them to. Okay. Or there's divine timing. That means that everything is always going to happen exactly when it's supposed to happen.
Okay.
So divine time, obviously, that's God's timing. And that when you follow God's timing, you're going to have peace. Okay. The result of following divine timing is peace. Okay. The result of following the ego's timing is conflict and chaos. Okay. And so every time the the thought of time comes into mind, and you start to get upset because of people not being on time or what have you, just use those moments not to dive deeper into the darkness of the conflict and chaos of the ego's timing, but instead now use it as a trigger to practice trusting God more, which means practice trusting divine time more.
Okay.
And saying, okay, this person is obviously not on time, or it's not happening on time. Must be something here for me, because God doesn't want me to go in right now. And so maybe God is helping you practice patience, or maybe God is helping you practice compassion.
Patience he's teaching me.
Okay. Maybe he's teaching you patience.
Yeah, he is.
I have a good example of that when you're done, James.
Okay. And so, yeah. Okay. Oh, you're next.
Yeah, because I'm very particular about time. I'm from the old school, from England.
Oh, yeah.
And is
100%. I'm totally with you. I'm the same way in that sense. I'm always on time. I'm always, at least I try.
Yeah.
Oh, but I also equally walk hand in hand with divine timing. And so I'll be there on time. If they're not on time, it's cool, man.
Okay.
All right. Everything's ivory. As my Jamaican friends would say.
Everything's ivory, man.
And so, yes, from now on, whenever that anxiousness comes because somebody's not 100% on time, just remember, okay, this is just my past programming that's creating this anxiousness right now. Okay, let me use this exact moment where the ego wants me to go into the darkness. Let me use it to practice trusting God more and practice trusting His timing more.
Yeah.
And when I align with God, when I align with divine timing, the result is peace. It's not only peace, but it's also a greater trust in God, because now you get to go to God every time
Yeah.
you're anxious about time. Just, oh, I'm feeling anxious about time. Go to God. That's my trigger to go to God, because I know that God is just helping me practice patience.
Okay.
And so when you realize that that sister and the hairstylist, all she's doing is helping you practice patience, then your response to her is going to be gratitude.
Yeah. Okay.
And so now gratitude is going to replace your past judgment and resentment. Okay, so now you see, because you trusted God, you trusted in divine timing, gratitude, which is an expression of love, begins to replace all the ego's delusions of condemnation and anger and resentment and all that stuff. And all because of, and this all happened because of your hairstylist. And so she's helping you, teach you patience.
Gotcha, we're going this way.
And so,
But, let me say, even though I didn't say anything to her, by the time I was getting ready to go, while I was sitting there, I did become really peaceful. Because usually I would have just told her about herself, and I would have just got up and walked out. But I sat there and I really talked to God, and I felt just a peace. And I was like, okay, whatever, I'm here now, So
yes. But now you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait in pain anymore. Just go straight. Yes, use it straight as a trigger. Okay, I've been here 1,000 times before. The way that I thought about it in the past has never delivered to me peace of mind or joy.
Right.
So let's try something else. Let me try going to God and trusting in divine timing.
Okay.
And then I'll have peace. And then when you have peace, you'll be thankful to your hairstylist. And you'll see her as a great teacher of patience and peace.
Oh yeah.
Try it, and come back.
I will.
All right. And when it comes to the neighbor, the neighbor that you help and she doesn't call back and all that stuff.
People are ungrateful, man. People are just ungrateful.
Okay, let's try to look at it another way.
Okay, let me turn the light on.
Okay. So this neighbor of yours who's not being very grateful for your kindness, let's say, the ego, this is the way, the ego is always going to ask for gratitude in return for kindness.
Yeah.
That's the ego's point of view. If I offer a kindness to a brother or sister, and my brother or sister isn't grateful to me for my kindness, then I'm going to turn my kindness into judgment and
Yeah.
okay? That's the little sick dance.
Yeah.
You're offering a kindness, which is an expression of love, which is an expression of God, to your sister, and then the ego's turning that around and making something bad out of it.
Right.
Judgment and anger out of it, right? And so let us not think along with the ego, because that only produces pain.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
How can we begin to see this in another way? Okay. Remember, we're all one, right? We're all one. Okay. So when you're serving anybody out there, when you're serving anybody out there, you're serving God. Okay. And it's a great honor to serve God.
Right.
Right. So no matter what God says or does after that, you're just honored to be of service to God. And that's who your neighbor is. Your neighbor is, in essence, God. And I will share this, that there's a part of her, which is one with God, that thanks you for your service.
Yeah, she
Okay?
does. Yeah.
So, but I'm saying that even though when she physically does not thank you, internally, silently, that part of her that's one with Source thanks you. Okay? So the highest part of her, even though it's silent right now because she might be asleep to her true nature, that part of her thanks you for your service to her.
But she does thank me. It's just that she never calls and she ignores my phone calls, except when she's coming for food. And that really hurt my feelings. So now I just feel like I don't want to give it any anymore. And I just want to kind of cut it off, which is my MO. You know, I can just I can just be done with a person when they hurt me enough time. And this has been going on for a while. And I can just cut it off, but I'm trying not to be like that, you know?
Right, you're trying not to be like that. So what is she really doing? What she's really doing, she's offering you an opportunity to practice mercy and grace, which will align you with God more and more. Okay? So when she doesn't call you back, you say to yourself, okay, every time I've done this before, I've been angry at her for not calling me or not calling me back. And then I never achieved a state of peace. Because deep down inside, I'm holding on to that anger or resentment because she hasn't called, right? And that's only poisoning me, right? Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, that those feelings are only poisoning you.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to do the opposite. You want to do the opposite of what the ego is demanding. Instead of a judgment to your sister for not calling you, use those moments to trigger in you the decision. This is a perfect time for me to practice having mercy and grace. Have mercy and grace. And just know that each one of us has co-created the journey with God. And so each of our journeys is perfect for us. And so she's processing her journey the best way she can. Okay. And for whatever reason, she hasn't called back. I know those faces.
Yeah, it wasn't the fact that she didn't call me, it was the fact that I called her, told her I had more stuff for her. And she never, but she called me Sunday, left me, she called me, that was like Friday. She calls me on Sunday. And it just really bothered me, you know. I'm like, you know, I go and I pack all this stuff and I get off work and I get these big boxes and I take them all down to her house for her and do all that. And all she had to do was call me back, and she's always on the phone. You know people that you talk to and they're always on the phone, but then when you call them, they don't answer the phone. But when they're with you, they always answer the phone. And all she had to do was message me and say, yeah, I want them. No, I don't want it. You know, whatever. That's all.
Okay.
Have a conversation with me.
Okay, but let me ask you, is that bothering sensation? Is that bringing you peace?
No, really, no.
Okay. Do you want peace?
Yeah.
Or do you want to stay stuck in your story? Which
No,
one?
peace.
You want peace? Okay.
Yeah.
If you truly want peace, then use those moments to practice having mercy and grace for your sister. If you want peace, if you don't want peace, don't get angry, get resentful. I'm fine either way. It's up to you. I'm just offering you what Source is offering me for you. Okay? So if God is saying, listen, if God is offering me this and I'm saying this to you and I'm giving you a path to peace, that's only because God thinks that you're worthy of peace. Or else I wouldn't have this information to give to you unless God allows it to flow through me. And so God is saying, you're worthy of peace. And so this is an opportunity, okay? It's an opportunity to replace all the bothering sensation with mercy and grace and thus achieve peace. And when you choose mercy and grace over judgment and anger or resentment or whatever, then you're telling yourself, you're reinforcing inside yourself that you are worthy of peace. And guess who's the primary energy of peace? God. So you're worthy of God's companionship. You're worthy of God looking over you, guiding you. That's what you're saying when you choose mercy and grace over judgment. Okay, you're saying to yourself that I'm now worthy of peace. And so that's the decision you have to make. Yeah, in every situation, you have to make the decision. Am I truly worthy of peace? God is saying that you're worthy of peace because God is offering you the path to peace. Now, you can travel that path or you cannot travel that path. That's called free will. You can achieve peace or you can remain in pain. Free will, your choice. All right. And I just wanted one last point about what you were saying is, when you're saying that you're feeling lonely, and, I'll tell you this. It is possible to feel lonely, but it is not possible to be alone because God is always with you.
Yeah, I got chapter 41, lesson 41 today.
Okay.
Spirit gave me 41 today, and it said just that. I
Okay.
posted it in the chat. That's 41, right? The one that says you're not alone.
I don't remember 41.
Well,
But
it's good.
yeah, so you may sometimes feel lonely, but you're never alone. Okay, God is always with you and within you. And he's simply just a simple choice away. You can choose to focus on loneliness, or you can choose to focus on God's love for you. So whenever that loneliness sensation comes to your mind, say to yourself, okay, God is offering me right now an opportunity to practice just joining with his energy and with his love. And so use those moments to close your eyes. Don't dive deep into the ego's darkness that says, oh, I'm lonely because of X or Y or Z, and I don't deserve to be lonely. The 1,000 stories the ego will tell you about loneliness. No, use it now. Use loneliness as a trigger to just close your eyes and bring God in and feel his love coming towards you and you absorbing his love like a sponge. And then when you start to feel his love and his compassion and kindness and mercy and grace around you and inside of you, you'll know that you're not alone. Okay. So you use that again. Use it not for the ego. Use that loneliness not for the ego's little sick dance, but instead to practice remembering that yes, I am indeed worthy of God, and bring God in. Close your eyes and just bring God in and say, thank you, God, for being with me and within me. And forever just a simple choice away.
Yeah, it's just all that old programming. That's all.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Those abandonment, rejection, and betrayal is just so hard to move past. But that's the things that's my path to move past.
Yes.
And it's
Just one note on that. It's when you say that it's so hard to move past it, you make it hard. Okay? It's not hard to, you know what? It's not hard to move past it. It's hard to keep it. Okay? It's hard to keep those emotions within you. It's not hard to move past it. It's the easiest and more natural thing for you to get past these stories in programming. Why? Because those stories are not who you are. You're only who God created you to be, which is perfect love. Okay? And so that is who you truly are, but you have to keep on reinforcing who you truly are, not the ego's lies and delusions and chaos and conflict. Okay? That's all the ego wants. The ego only wants you angry, in conflict, confusion, in pain. That's all the ego wants. No, just remind yourself and reinforcing yourself. No, I'm done playing the ego's dark games. I am now choosing peace instead of this. Okay? I can choose peace instead of this. I am worthy of peace. Okay? My past programming is not who I am. Who I am is who perfection created me to be. And perfection only creates perfectly. And so the truth in you is only perfect, has always been perfect, is perfect now, and will forever be perfect, no matter what the ego says. Okay? But just reinforce only your truth as true. Stop reinforcing the ego. Stop fueling that with your time, with your focus, and your energy. Stop fueling the lies as true. Okay, stop fueling the darkness. You are created to be a light in the world. You are not created to add darkness to darkness. That's not your job here. That's not anybody's job here. You are created to be the light of the world. And so simply be who God created you to be. All right. Thank you. Yvonne, if you're there.
Yo lo cierro. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, but I'm here, but I'm at my mom's. Okay, gracias, Raquel. Yeah, so time. Oh my gosh, I am so obnoxious with time, and people making me wait.
Mm-hmm.
And so my son today, we had a super busy day, and I wanted to have dinner with him like we usually do, but he decided to start working on the yard when I finished work, and so we were going to have very limited time together, and he was out working the yard. Dinner was done. I wanted to get on this call. I had to get to my mom's. I was like, I can go over there and tell him, come on, just stop, come with me, and get annoyed. But I just said, you know what? It's okay. If he makes it, great. If not, that's okay as well. As much as I really wanted it, oh my gosh. And I was starting to get really upset because like he knows what time we have dinner and blah blah blah. And he made it. He just made it. So for me it was like, wow. That was like, I don't know, divine timing. And and I didn't give in to my annoyance, which I had. Well, I was gonna say I have no right to have it, but I do. I mean, I do have the right to have it, but it doesn't bring me peace. So what's the point? And I mean, he was doing me a favor. Well, he wasn't doing me a favor. He was doing a chore in his own home. Let me put it that way. Anyways, so I'm just so happy that it worked out, and I prevented a big uproar and upsettedness for myself, which in the past I've done over and over and over again very well. So super, super proud of myself, and that's it all worked out because I wasn't rushing or expecting it, and I wasn't going to be disappointed if he didn't make it. So I think that was pretty cool. So I just want to share.
That's cool. That's cool. That's great. Because I know I get really disappointed. I feel really let down when people don't come through, because I always come through for people. So I always feel, so I revert back to that. Well, I'm not worth it. I'm just invisible. Nobody sees me. They didn't want to take the time. And, I only see the black and white. I can't see the gray area.
I can so relate to that. I can relate to that. I've been there, and I do that sometimes as well. And with my kids, obviously, or my family members, I can tell them straight out, and I do. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's not about you, it's my own time management crap, and just, forgetfulness or whatever, and it's true. And when I'm able to see that, I'm better. But if not, I get in that, oh, poor me, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
But it's not, but it's rarely, if any, if ever, about us.
Right. But in the moment, you feel that all that
Sure.
whole programming comes up, and that's what you feel. And afterwards, you look back and you go, that had nothing to do with me. That's their stuff,
Yeah, totally. But I was able to switch that. And I probably shouldn't say this, but I don't know if well, I could say this. Like, I had half a glass of wine because I had a rough day at work. I'm like, I wonder if that helped. It may have, but whatever. Whatever. It was delicious. And yeah, so that's that. That's my holy moment, or whatever you want to call that.
Oh, you call that a miracle.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It was great. It was lovely.
Yeah, miracles is a shift in perception.
Yeah.
So you were in a state of fear, okay, because and you shifted to love, which is what the course it says.
Yeah.
Shifting from fear to love, and fear is just many emotions under that fear, right? Many branches, such as an annoyance and upset. Those are all forms of fear. And so you did a beautiful job, because the amount of pain, you could suffer amount of pain until your son gets there, right? So however late he was in that time between he was late and when he got there, you could have been in pain. You could have been annoyed. You could be upset. Okay. But you remembered, thank God, and thanks to your own work, that you're worthy of peace. And so you chose the path to peace. You unconsciously chose to trust divine timing. You said, whatever it is that you said to yourself that shifted you from fear to love, that was a beautiful experience. And that shows how the miracle happens.
Yeah.
The ego is demanding annoyance. The ego is demanding upset. The ego is demanding disappointment or anger. That's what you recognize. Okay, these are thoughts that only the ego demands. Okay, so if the ego is demanding this, it means the ego is in control of my mind right now. And if the ego is in control of my mind, I'm never going to achieve the state of peace. So what you did is you overruled the ego. You took back control of your own thoughts, and you decided to think thoughts that lead you to peace, and you decided to trust divine timing.
Mm-hmm.
Say that he'll get here when he gets here, and so that was a beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Now our food will digest well.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes. Good job. Good job. That's all we have to do. That's
Thank
the
you.
amount of suffering and pain in the end, after it's said and done. It's our choice. It's our choice. Is Yvonne's choice how long she wants to stay in upset or annoyance or disappointment. That's her choice, and she's decided no. I'm done playing those little silly games that never deliver peace to my mind or joy to my heart. And she chose in alignment with love, and she trusted divine timing. And when her son got there, good things happened. That was a beautiful thing. So yeah, it shows you that you can choose peace instead of pain. It's called free will. Just take back control of your thoughts. Align your thoughts with who you truly are, which is love. All right. Anybody else? Anybody has some programming to deprogram, since we are not who we've been programmed to be by the ego this last week?
Can I ask you something? I lost my pit bull last year, and he was just my heart, and I just can't seem to get past his death. I know it might sound stupid to somebody to be crying over the pit bull, but
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. Yeah.
I'm just devastated. I just can't get past it.
Okay. Yes. Well, it's kind of like a family member, in reality. Uh, so, yeah. So one of the things you might want to try doing is use a prayer and meditation before you go to sleep, and ask your pit bull to come into your dreams. Okay, because obviously your pit bull is still alive, right? Like in spiritual form, he's still there. He's in heaven right now, right? But he's available to you if you ask him to come into your dreams. And so every night before you go to sleep, simply pray and ask your pit bull, whatever his name was. What was his name?
Stitch. His name was Stitch.
Bitch.
Stitch.
Bitch, right?
Stitch, like Stitch and Lilo.
Yeah. And so ask,
Yes, yeah, big ears.
and so just ask him to come into your dreams and tell you how he's doing. because I had the same thing, but I had a Basset Hound, and I had him for like 17 years. And the time that when he passed away, I was meditating and I was thinking about him, and all of a sudden, I feel that weight on my chest. You know, the weight on your chest that you feel when you have a dog that likes to sit on your chest.
Yeah.
So when I felt that weight, I knew that his name was Texas. It was Texas. And then we started to have a human conversation. And I go, Texas? And he goes, yes, it's me, James. And I don't remember the rest of what we talked about. But we talked about one of the caretakers in the house. And this was in Venezuela, the maid in the house who took care of him a lot. That she was also very, very sad because of his passing. And so I told Texas, you know, Norma is very sad that you passed away. And he goes, I know. And then he goes to me, tell her to visit me. Come visit me. And tell her how to do that. And then I go, okay, I'll do that. And then I go, I love you, Texas. And he goes, I love you, James.
Oh, I wish I could have a dream like that.
You can have it. You can have it.
But I don't understand why he was only 6 years old, you know? And I rescued him. He had so many problems, and you know, why did he have to die at 6 years old? I didn't have any time with him, you know?
Yeah. Well, this is a time that we get to practice respecting everybody's journey, you know? His journey was just for 6 years. That was his divine plan. For X or Y reason, that was part of his process. And that part of his process is going to help you in some way, shape, or form heal and grow from it.
It did, because that's why I came to the course, because I wanted to be more like him. It's amazing. He loved everybody, and he saw everybody. If he saw you one time, he would remember you. He never got angry, even when he was dying. I didn't even know he was dying. He just died within a week, you know? And he was always happy. And he taught me so much. And I said that I wanted to be more like him. And that's why I'm on my spiritual journey now, because of him. But I miss him so much. It hurts so much.
Yeah, so every night before you go to sleep, try that. Just meditate for at least 10 minutes and think about him and ask him to come into your dreams. And don't judge yourself if it doesn't happen the first night. Just keep doing that every night before you go to sleep. Invite him, ask him to come into your dreams and tell you how he's doing. And God willing, it will happen for you. And you'll see.
You know, it's funny, everywhere I go, I see them stitch little dolls and stuff. Some people with t-shirts on. It's like he shows himself to me all the time. Everywhere I go, it's Stitch. And I say, thank you, Stitch, for showing up for me, you know, for letting me know that you were there.
Yeah.
Sorry, it sounds stupid, but I'm sorry.
Oh, it's not stupid. But he was the one who got you started on a spiritual journey, right? And so, you know, what a great gift that he's giving you, and how much you've progressed in the last whatever amount of time that you've been with us.
It's only like 3 months, yeah.
Yeah. So just think about how you were before the course, and then how you are now, and how much you've grown. And it's all because Stitch passed. But he's perfectly happy. And remember, everybody up there, Sis especially, he wants you to be happy. He wants you to be at peace. He wants you to be like joyful. So just honor him by saying thank you. I'll try my best to be peaceful and happy and joyful. Thank you, Stitch.
Okay, I will. I'll try.
Thank you. Isabel?
Yes. Hi, good evening. How are you guys?
Good. How you doing?
Good, good. I was just listening, Lorraine. I'm so sorry about your dog. I'm so sorry about this loss, and I can imagine, like a dear friend, right? Uh, it's hard, but we don't know. We don't have the control of what's going on, when, until when we're gonna be alive. I was watching a movie last evening. I think it was the Girl Next Door, something like that, from Almodovar. And it was about this lady that got cancer and decides that before her life ends, she can take a pill and have other extra pills in case she's still alive, or euthanasia. She wanted to have the euthanasia on her, and wanted a friend to be with her. So that reminded me of a friend that asked me same thing, like a few weeks ago. She said, Isabel, if I were, sick and I didn't want to live anymore, could you help me die? I was like, I don't think I could. I think that's a hard favor to ask. So I don't think I could. And when I was watching this movie and I was seeing the grieving, it reminded me so much. It triggered me, the pain and the feelings I had when my dear friend asked me about if I could be there. And now they were saying about respecting the choice, right? Respecting, honoring whoever decides to, to do with their life. Like our dogs, our family members, either consciously or unconsciously, they decide to be in our lives to a point. So I understand it's a hard decision. Either you do it yourself or somebody helps you, or a sickness, a disease, or something takes your life away. We are in this body. I'm a human same way, and I do feel this pain and the grieving. But it's also a matter of I don't know, of shifting our perception at some point, because it's not easy. And this was helping me, listening to you, James, a little bit, to shift how I'll see and come out of myself, and see it from a different perspective, that, there is choices in life. And the choices of how I want to see as well, besides the choices that our loved ones could take. Um, and this physical body and the spiritual, which is the eternal one, right? Never ends. And this connection, as you said, call this human being, or this spiritual being, which was our dog, our human, call them on your dreams, ask them to meet with you in your dreams. And that request, it shifted my perception, like, wow, if it ever happened to connect, still connect, because that's the pain, that we are not connecting any longer. That's the pain, that they are not the angel that they used to be, or the soothing energy that was in our lives while they were present. So thank you, James, when I was listening, and thank you, Lorraine, for sharing this, because it helped us see and shift a little bit on how, sometimes our pain could be, and how it can transform a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
We all have a divine journey that we've co-designed with God. Okay. So whatever choices we make in the end, if
Mhm.
we want to euthanize ourselves at the end because of X or Y reason, we just have to respect people's choices. Okay. And it's very simple. Do what brings you peace, and you will have peace. So if it brings you peace to be with your friend when she's passing away, then do that. But if you don't feel at peace in that kind of situation, which is understandable, then don't do that, and explain to her that that would be too traumatic for you, and she would understand. And the truth, she only wants the best for you. And when she reaches heaven, she'll again just want the best for you. And so there's no wrong choices. Just do what brings you peace. You will have peace. And yes, the whole idea about dreaming. When I told Norma, when after my it was mine wasn't a dream. It was a meditation. so I was conscious during the experience. But when I told Norma to go ahead and think about Texas and dream about him, then she actually dreamt about him, and she found herself like in a field, in a grass field, long, very wide grass field, and then Texas started running towards her, you know. And the thing was, before, Texas was 17 when he passed. So for a couple of years, he wasn't he wasn't walking very well.
Yeah.
So when she was in heaven and Texas came running at her, he was like a younger Texas, right? And then he actually jumped into her arms. Okay. And so after that, she had a lot more peace in regards to Texas's passing. And so yes, don't believe this is not possible. It's true. Remember, they're still alive. They're just in another form. Remember what the Course in Miracles says: relationships don't end; they just change forms. Okay, so everybody up there, if you really need them, they're there for you. But you have to ask. You have to ask, and you have to also ask God for that favor, and it will be shown to you. And don't judge yourself if it doesn't happen the first time. Just keep doing it. Just keep trusting that, because Stitch is still alive and you're here. It can happen. It can happen. And allow it. Open yourself up to it. Don't close yourself. Open up. Thank you. Shelley, how you doing?
I'm
Any?
doing really good. Yeah.
How was your last week?
Um, I I will tell on myself.
Okay.
James, you're like a Catholic priest. I'm sure you've heard that before. Yeah, so my son had a surgery. First of all, I just want to say, Lori, my heart goes out to you, honey. Like seriously. My first husband, my dear husband, passed away in 1999. Um, and you know what he bought me for my birthday before he passed away? He bought me a book. It was A Return to Love.
Oh, wow.
He didn't know anything about it. He walked into the store. He's like, I gotta get my wife a book for her birthday. She loves books. And like she was Marianne Williamson's book was on the bestseller list. And the woman said, well, you should get this one because it's flying off the shelf. And yeah, that was the beginning of my path on A Course in Miracles also. So my heart goes out to you. My first husband, I only had like 12 years with him, but they were just filled with so much meaning and love. And I feel like your pup did the same thing for you also. Yeah. Yeah. And for you to share this with the group, it's such a beautiful thing that you feel open to trust us with that. Yeah. Yeah. And we're all going to be holding you in the light,
Thank you.
definitely, regarding that. So, so yeah, my son had surgery on Friday, and and my first husband died on the operating table all of a sudden. So going in for surgery, I was like so nervous, you know. And this is like 26 years later, right? Um, and so we get in there, he goes into surgery, and then people are coming in and out. And like I'm judging everybody who's going in and out of the waiting room. And I'm just like, that woman's shoes, like she should stop wearing those shoes. It's going to cause problems with her feet later on, you know, and like her makeup, like this other woman's makeup was just wrong. Like, who taught her to put that makeup on? And then I'm like, why am I doing this? I felt like such a horrible person because I really do love people. Like if you decided to show up on the earth plane, there's something special about you. So I generally do just love people in general, but I was just like picking everyone apart. And I did realize it, and I just tried to like close my eyes and not look around. And yeah, it was embarrassing. I was like so embarrassed on the inside, but I couldn't stop. And then when I got to my son after the surgery, and he was just fine. He's like in no pain at all. Like he's doing really good right now. But like then all of a sudden, everybody became beautiful again. And I'm like, the doctor was beautiful, the nurses, like everybody who walked by was beautiful. And I'm just like, wow, Shelley. That was just interesting. I wanted to share that with you. kind of embarrassing, but and thank you, Jen, for that. But yes, it's an interesting world. We're here to learn,
Yeah.
you know, these things, and it really is expanding the consciousness right now. So just forgive yourself, keep going. It's all good. It really is. It really is. And thank you for letting me share that with you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that's what happens every time we go from anxiety to gratitude. Okay, because anxiety was taking control of your mind and your thoughts. And so you were viewing the world through the anxious lens, through the ego's lens. And so obviously the ego can only do what it does, which is anxiety, confusion, chaos, conflict, judgment, anger, resentment. And so you were anxious, and so you viewed that world through that dark lens. But then when your son came out and everything was okay, then you shifted lenses from the ego's lens to love's lens. And one of love's expressions, primary expressions, is gratitude. And so when you see the world through gratitude, everything is beautiful. And so see the power of shifting lenses, and that we can choose to shift lens in even the most challenging times. And so just recognize, okay, I wasn't really doing that, because remember, you can't judge somebody. You can't be angry or resentful or hate. That's the ego. Okay. The truth in you is love, and you can only love. The truth in you can only love everybody else. Okay. So that person, in quotes, who was thinking those thoughts wasn't you. It was the ego. Okay. And so all you have to do is remember, okay, I'm feeling anxiety, I'm judging. That obviously means that the ego's in control of my thoughts right now. Okay. Let me use this not to fall further into the darkness, but to take back control of my thoughts and switch from the ego's lens to love's lens, and use those moments to practice trusting God more. You know, even in those difficult times, because of your past, it was a very difficult time, you know, because of what happened in the past. And obviously your son now having to go through that situation. And so, yes, it just shows you the difference between the ego's lens and love's lens, between anxiety and worry and doubt and fear, and gratitude and appreciation for the doctors and the nurses. Now you're appreciating all the nurses that come out. You're so grateful to them, you know, and then that brings you so much joy, you know. And so, yes, that's the beautiful thing, is that we have the power. It's not the nurse, it's not the doctors, it's not the hospital or the situation. Which lens am I seeing this situation through right now? Just practice that, reminding you of that question. Okay, I'm not at peace. Obviously, I'm not in control of my thoughts. And then you give everything that is holding you in darkness over to the Holy Spirit. I say, Holy Spirit, here you go. I wasn't created to carry this stuff, so I offer it to you so that it can dissolve in your loving light. And then you close your eyes and you visualize and feel this heavy darkness thoughts just lifting off your shoulders and moving up towards the light. And in the light, you see the dove, the Holy Spirit. And as those things, those delusions and stories and programming go towards the Holy Spirit, they dissolve in His light, and they're gone. They're no more. And then that weight is lifted off you, and you have peace. That's where you belong. You belong in the state of peace, and obviously praying for your son in those moments, and trusting in God that all will be all right. And obviously your husband that passed is obviously looking over, making sure that your son is okay, because obviously he's still alive in his own way, in the spiritual sense. So he's there taking care of both you and your son.
Oh, he truly is. And like I see 10, 12. That's his birthday, on the clock all the time. He also bought me a Thomas Kincaid Garden of Prayer, that I just stare into it and meditate. And it's like I enter the painting, and I just get so much peace from it. So yeah, to this day, I'm still finding gifts that he left me, which is very beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
How
And thank you.
wonderful, how wonderful to have had such a beautiful love in your life.
Yeah, yeah.
I pray for that. I pray for that my whole life. I hope before I die, I could experience. That's beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Well, yeah, my second marriage was a different kind, but I
Yeah,
went from one
but
extreme
you
to the other.
had that love. You've experienced it, that unconditional, beautiful love, and that's what we all would love, you know?
Yeah, yes, yes. Yeah, I'm in a state of gratitude, especially hearing James talk about
Yeah,
asking the Holy Spirit to come in and just
yeah,
letting it all go. Like I am just like in
yeah,
a state of bliss right now.
yeah.
Well,
Been a beautiful.
guess when my birthday is?
Is it 10/12?
And 12.
Wow.
Oh
Wow,
my God, I'm gonna cry.
wow. That's a confirmation, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's confirmation that your husband is taking
Yeah,
care
yeah, yeah,
to these messages and helping you heal in your own way. I mean, that's an impossible coincidence, right?
yeah,
Wow.
Yeah. So they're looking over us, even those who have passed, and they're making sure that we're okay and that we'll complete our.
wow.
And once we complete our journey, we'll see them again. And it'll be a wonderful, wonderful meeting again.
Mhm.
So yes, yes. Now that you guys know my birthday,
Wow, that's beautiful.
Libra, October 12th.
I'm October the 19th.
Ah,
I'm a Libra Scorpio.
yes.
Don't mess with me. With a, with with a Gemini rising.
Yeah. So yes, Shelly. I mean, there's no coincidence like that.
No, that's not. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Does anybody before we close? Does anybody want to share anything before we close?
I would love to. I
Go ahead.
still can't find out where the raise hand thing is. I've been trying to find it,
Click,
but
click
it's
on your
just
picture. Click on your picture, and then you'll go down to the bottom, and you'll see. Is it
Well, if you
reactions?
go to, yeah, if you go to the bottom, it says react. Press
Reaction.
a little
Yeah.
heart.
No, just click reactions, and you see the raised hands and the reactions, and send with effect. Because I wanted to know how those little hearts all bubbled up, and I just figured it out.
thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, there you
Sorry,
go.
this is it was going back to when Laurie was talking about her beloved puppy, and you already all know that nobody dies, no animal dies, but I had a really beautiful thing happen when my golden retriever died. A few years after he died, there was something going on in with a family member, and I was really sad and really, really worried about that person. Thank goodness all is well now. But the sadness was ongoing day after
Yeah.
day. I couldn't shake it. I couldn't shake
Yeah.
it. I forgot to give it to the Holy Spirit, did all the wrong things, and lived in this sadness.
Yeah.
And one night I fell asleep, and in my dream, sorry,
Okay.
in my dream, Baxter came to me, and the way we used to really sleep, he put his arm across my chest and his head on my shoulder, and he cuddled with me, and he filled me with joy. He filled my whole body with absolute peace and joy. And when I woke up the next day, I still felt like that, and I felt like that for 3 days.
Wow.
So sorry, I didn't know I'd get so emotional, but they're still with you, and I hope your pooch will come and do that to you.
I do too. Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you.
They're available. They will come and if they're all right. They'll send you love and joy and peace. And yes, it is totally possible. As we know from Texas and from gay stuff. All right. Anybody else would like to share before we close? Okay, well, thank you, folks.
Thank you for a beautiful, beautiful session.
Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, James.
Thank you, everybody.
Mike,
Thank you,
Lily.
Laurie.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Night night.
Bye.
Bye.